My friends, there have been many tragedies in human history. World wars, the financial crisis, pandemics, and yes, the release of BMX Streets. Nah, I'm only joking, but it's certainly been an interesting time since this has been released, like about 24 hours ago. So I'm doing a day 2 video with some bits I've learned, some things I've figured out, some bugs, other things worth talking about. I'm kind of just going to keep this one fairly casual, just play through different areas of the map, try and do some cool stuff, and maybe bring up some things people either don't know or is worth considering if you haven't bought the game or you're thinking about it or you're on console. Because there's quite a lot of bad to go with the good. Overall, I'm having fun with it, but there's also moments where I look at the map and just other things and it's not quite how I want it, so let's get into it. So actually I made one stunning omission from my first impressions video yesterday, and that is bonks. I just did one there. If you know me, I'm very much somebody who does a lot of front wheel, back wheel, various kind of weird bonks, taps, a lot of jibby stuff. And if I'm being completely honest, I find a lot of that stuff really hard at the minute. I don't know if it's because I'm just not used to the game, or it's just all a bit more difficult than it used to be, or a bit jankier than it used to be. So I think I'll maybe start trying to get some of those sort of tricks, see how they work, because I haven't actually spent much time trying to get them. Yeah, so if you know me, that's a very me thing, like a bar spin to a back tire bonk. Also doing a bar spin after, I don't know if I'll be able to get one. It does hone in a bit. Magnets are still a thing in this game, which is something I didn't really want to have, if I'm being completely honest. I also wanted to be able to do more disaster, or just like ride up to something and do a, I don't know, ice pick, for example. Oh, maybe you can. It's just figuring out how to do it. Nothing is ever consistent, it feels. Which could either be user error, like I'm not going to blame the game completely, because we're all kind of in this together figuring out what the hell is going on. But if I just want to go up and ice pick this, I'm holding down the right shoulder button, because apparently that kind of removes the transition lock type of thing. I'm getting a lot of bonks. But yeah, if I just want to, say if I wanted to do like an over to toothpick and then down into the bank, I'd love to be able to do that sort of thing, but I really struggle to get any of it. Maybe it's just... yeah. Okay, so from what I've found, if you don't use the right shoulder button, you generally tend to do stuff like this. Let's keep it going. See if it happens a second time in a row. Yeah. Like you'll notice some weird magnet or attraction thing to the rail happens, and you don't get anywhere near it. You're not quite getting what you want. It's kind of bypassing the rail almost. So now if you hold down the right shoulder button and try it, you'll notice, especially bonks and things that you want to do on the rail, it removes at least some of the jank, or maybe it doesn't. This is the thing, it's really hard to figure out what works and what doesn't. Holding the right shoulder button down does seem to make a difference at the very least. I'd just love to get like a toothpick and go over. Yeah, like that. But then again, it doesn't end up looking very good. So yeah, just having a quick look, you kind of see how it's not quite smooth. Like, why is it leaning over that way from... It's like weird locking on stuff going on and stuff like that. And this also brings me to something else which I wanted to tell people about, because I don't know how many people are aware of this. But you see this timeline on the bottom? It goes up to 30 seconds, right? I was filming something and I realised I didn't film it, go into the filming mode soon enough. So I was like, oh no, the start of the video is going to get cut out. But let's go down to 0. Look at that. Stuff is still happening. I think at this point, I can't tell exactly, but I think it's maybe 60 seconds. The timeline is 30 seconds, but you actually get way more time. So here we go. Here's all this extra stuff going on before we get to the timeline. And you can put down keyframes and do all the other stuff. So you actually have 60 seconds. It just doesn't show up on here, which is extremely awkward and kind of a huge oversight. I don't know why you'd have 60 seconds of time but not show it off. Maybe a bug? I don't know. Alright, I'm trying to use the right stick, which lets you do mini hops. These may be a better option for trying to do like little stuff on rails like this. Usually you end up hopping over, either because of speed or other stuff going on. If you're trying to get a specific trick like this, maybe use this. Again, it's not perfect. You may need to finesse it quite a lot to get what you want. But I'm having better results, at least. It's hitting the rail and he's not clearing it, so that's maybe one thing to consider. So I am actually compiling a bunch of things that are either missing from the game or a bit broken. And it's a work in progress, so I don't want to like bring it out too quickly, because I may be missing a bunch of things, but you'll notice we don't have hang fives, we don't have rocket, or like dork wheelies, or whatever they're called in Street. In Flatland, it's a dork wheelie, like on the back pegs, manual. X-ups, another thing as well, which is wild. Foot jam whips is a trick we saw, but it doesn't seem to be in the game. These kind of twitchy spins are another thing which feel a little broken, maybe. Like you can stop in the air and then continue the rotation. So it's like turn, stop, turn again. There's no sense of momentum, and Pipe actually had more momentum, I think, when it came to that sort of stuff. Yeah. Actually, looking at it, I'll zoom in on my back tyre, but can you see what's happening here? It looks like it's pulsing. I guess maybe it's a bug, or I noticed it before in the old potatoes video as well, like the back wheel or back tyre. Is the front doing the same thing? Maybe it's a texture thing. You can see it pulsing, right? Either it looks like it's squished or the texture for the tyre. And I've used different tyres as well, so it seems to be a common thing from what I can tell. Oh, another big one is left foot forward players. Each time you start the game, go to the menu, settings, go down to stance, just reset to right and then back to left, and then you don't get that crazy turning issue which I had in the video I did yesterday. Watch that for the first 5 minutes or so and you'll notice the turning is... he turns the bars the wrong way to turn, essentially, so it looks like he's sliding everywhere. It's a really weird bug, but for left foot forward people, unfortunately, yeah, you've got that to deal with. Go back to the replay editor as well. There's little things here and there. I don't know if I can find it. Yeah. I'll zoom in here as well. It's maybe hard to see, but on keyframing, it's got the left stick down for delete key and delete all keys. It's actually the right stick. It's these kind of like small attention to detail things which shouldn't really happen. Hopefully, like long term, this will all get sorted out and patched, but if you're expecting a full complete game, I'd definitely come into this considering it as maybe like an early access game instead, and that hopefully things are going to change. Oh yeah, one more big thing, and kind of the elephant in the room. Within the first 6 or 7 hours from the game being released, Mash actually lowered the price. So I live in Japan, and it was originally 6,000 yen. Stick that in a something and you'll probably get an idea of what that is in USD, but after a few hours it had gone down to 4,500, so that's like a 20% discount, 25%, sorry. It may be different for different regions. I've heard some people saying it's like half the price. I don't know if that's in response to all the negative comments and everything, but that is wild to me. The fact that, I don't know, with criticism, will he just lower the price more and more? Is that how that works? Was he not committed to the original price? I do not understand that decision, and for people that actually like supported the game and bought it straight away, the fact that they have to go through all this nonsense to get their money back is unacceptable to me. There's no justification for that, and there's no explanation as to why that's happened either, which, I don't know, Mash, you've been making this game for literally years, and on the day of release you've managed to cause so much damage. I don't want to, like, you know, cause drama or like be overtly negative or anything like that, but as a decision, it's a pretty terrible one. At least, like, letting people know why that happened. At least for the people buying it now, it's cheaper, so part of the price complaint maybe goes down, but it's still fairly expensive for people. And in my case, like, it's not a big deal for me, but for some people it is, and that's a fair thing. Especially if you're discounting it on the day of release, which is wild. Like, I'm not somebody who farms for comments or something, but I am very curious to hear from people who watch my videos, like, what was your response to that? What is your response to this release? Overall, I do want to be positive. Like, I'm filming things, I'm having fun. It's jank, but I don't know, Pipe was jank as well, so it's just like a new flavour of jank that we have to deal with. It'll be fine in the end, I hope. If this is one of those things like Cyberpunk where the release was shit, and then after that there's a redemption arc and it all turns out good, then I'm very happy. If this is the best we're going to get, then holy hell, what have we been waiting for all this time? But again, I don't want to be overtly negative. I will make the most of this. I'll keep playing it. It does have its highlights and its good stuff, and I guess I should try showing off some of the better stuff as well. I don't want this to be a complaint party, and I've been having fun, so let's just try and do some fun tricks as well. Yeah, this is one of the nicest spots to ride at night, I think. Surprisingly, some areas are kind of not very well lit, and they probably should be because it's a city, but it's kind of another quirk of the game. Hopefully a few more lampposts and stuff like that is included, because actually the lighting's pretty cool when you just have the flashlight as well. But you know, we want to be able to ride everything at all times and have it look good. As you can see, like, I don't know, having a reasonably good time here. It's all working. I say that, I know something's going to screw up. Perfect. That reminds me, actually, I should probably have a go at multiplayer. It was acting a bit wild yesterday, and I also didn't know how to turn off the mics of other people and myself. I'll maybe show that now. Again, left on the D-pad, go into options, then use the shoulder buttons to go through all this stuff. It's kind of like quick access to things. I'm also using this realistic high contrast filter, which seems reasonably colourful because it is kind of a drab game overall. Realistic high contrast, and I have it on 30%, and that seems a little better than the base, at least. I'll turn the HUD off as well because it kind of gets in the way. I've got grind spin assist off because I'm kind of testing out different things. Camera stuff is pretty much same as usual. And yeah, if you go to audio, mic output, turn that down to 0, voice chat down to 0, because you just get like kids eating crisps into the mic and all sorts of weird stuff going on. Could I? We do get a little sound, so theoretically you could do some tire tap stuff on walls and things like that. Here I am, for the good of humanity. Being a researcher for this game, I'm trying to figure stuff out before everybody else gets involved. So that was kind of it. Another one. Let's try doing it up, see if that makes any difference. Huh. Like, using flips now compared to pipe makes it a lot harder to kind of turn yourself vertical to do this sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, something weird happened. But trying to do vertical things, like, for example, if you have this bank, ideally doing a double peg vertically on this makes sense as a trick, but is it possible in the game? Probably. Is it easy to do? Probably not. Oh. Let's see what happened this time. Kind of a sort of a disaster sort of thing. Diagonally. With a weird spin which I didn't want out of it. that's also the other thing, like it does extra spins when you don't want it to. So you kind of lack a bit of control. There's another different type of bomb. You get like a different result each time, which if you're willing to work for it, means there's probably a lot of potential for stuff, but if you want consistency, you're going to be in for trouble, I think. Yeah. See, an extra spin when I didn't really want it to happen. It does make me curious how much of this is just either bugs or a fundamental thing with the game. It's just been made differently, and compared to Pipe, we're going to struggle a lot more to do the things that we used to do. Which will suck a little bit for me, because it's going to mean I'm going to have to kind of reinvent my style a bit. I can still do a lot of stuff, to be fair. I'll figure it out. It's just, yeah, this happens a lot. Okay, so this is a spot which was shown before, or I think this is the spot, or it may be somewhere else actually, but it's a gas station, but it's not lit up. And when we saw it originally, it was, or the other gas station, wherever it was lit up. This is just completely dark. So when you're playing it, you literally have the flashlight and nothing else. There's also some kind of texture related issues as well, as you can see, like extremely low quality textures here and there. Other areas are nice, like this is pretty high detailed, right? So why is that like that? Regardless, playing it in the daytime is probably the best option. Actually, this doesn't look as bad in the daytime. It seems to change depending on the time of day. Well, not to say it looks great, as you can see, but some weirdness going on. Also, if you wanted to throw your bike, hold it, press or hold down the B button, and then you do this. So you can throw it at people when you're playing online. Another issue you'll encounter is this. It's really sketch doing manuals and nose manual type tricks in this game. It feels really inconsistent. The whole balancing thing that they implemented doesn't really work for me. I'd rather do that myself and have proper control over a manual. Because as you can see, I literally just want to manual back into this bank. But because he's like wobbling all over the place, it's next to impossible to get it to look any good. I'm hoping somebody could like make a mod to kind of counteract that, to be honest. Like, maybe it could happen. I don't know how entrenched it is into the game. Oh, we got a Fufanu, but he automatically turned as well, which kind of screwed it up. So yeah, if you can handle the manual, it's fine, but it also means G-turns are a mess. You can, on rare occasions, get it to work well. I think it depends on his position at the time you do them, but otherwise stuff like that happens. So again, for somebody who's very tech orientated like me, who likes doing a lot of manual combos and G-turns and things like that, it's, see, like, it's a lot harder than before. In some cases kind of impossible or a little bit broken. Hopefully manuals is one thing that will get fixed quickly, because it seems, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Well, it was going well at first, but then this happened. You can kind of see if it works well and it can look nice. It's just when it doesn't work, it looks like a hot mess. That took longer than expected, but I'll take it. Also, I really want to know why he's so inclined to turn. Like, immediately he's turning and you gotta fight it. Like, nobody loses balance that quick. Who... Like, look what you gotta do to try and keep it straight. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you know a good way to deal with that, let me know. feels like we're all kind of in the dark trying to figure out how to deal with this new engine, for better or for worse. Maybe we will figure it out, and with patches and everything it will fix itself, but it's certainly not making it easy for us, put it that way. Those seem to work okay at least. Let's try a bonk on here if I can. Not enough speed. Try another toothpick. That time it wasn't. What decides... And also it was an over. Like doing anything where you want to do like an over, double peg or whatever. It seems random. There's no way of actually doing the input before. You basically do the stick diagonally to go over a rail and grade on the other side. But that doesn't seem to apply here, from what I can tell. I just cleared it completely that time. So yeah, it's a difficult position I find myself in playing this game. Like, I just want to do like a spot session video and kind of chill. But there's so many things going on, and just the way the game has been handled up until this point, that's kind of making that hard. Like, I don't know. This wasn't how I was expecting the first few days of this release to be. It feels like I'm doing more like problem solving and trying to figure stuff out. Also, nose manuals up steps. Weird. You like accelerate for some reason. It's a thing. It's one of many things. So yeah, if this is coming across overly negative, it's not really my intention. It's just kind of true thoughts and feelings about the game. Actually, one cool thing we can do is we've got some curved rails here, and if you know me, I do like a good curved rail to do a rail ride on. So let's give that a go. Typically I have like a no brake policy doing these, but this one's so steep I feel I have to. I don't know, not bad. There are a bunch of different rails, especially curved crazy ones like this. So I'm probably going to do a video just doing rail rides on all of them, like figuring out how to do them properly without slowing down much. In fact, I will add a clip that I took a little earlier today doing a rail that Mash actually put in the Discord server as a challenge, like everybody try and aim for this rail and it'll give you $10 or something. So I did it, and here we go. I found another one. Let's see what happens. Oh. Might be able to do this at high speed, I don't know. Problem is it gets twitchier at high speed. So you may need to brake halfway down or something. Oh, the wobble kicks in as well. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's going to make it worse. There's actually, somebody made like a script or a mod or something to remove that wobble. I may have to install that at some point. Have a look in the, I think it's the BMX Streets Discord. Somebody posted it somewhere. I'm not sure how it works, but yeah, just an FYI. See, we'll go nice and slow. Control it. Still probably going to screw up at some point. It's kind of the cheater's way of doing one. Alright, fair enough. If I spent enough time, I could probably get that. Like, I've done worse on pipe, I think. Where it felt harder. so it's definitely an option. And at least I get to show something off that's kind of cool or unique. Because, yeah, God forbid, I don't want to be talking crap about the game the whole time. And this is that little area that was in the trailer as well. God. What was that there? We got a wall ride? No. I think the magnets and weird sticky things kind of screw those up a little bit. Maybe if we hold the shoulder button, we get a more direct one? Yeah, maybe. Again, it's stuff like that that needs to be figured out, I think, to get an understanding of what works and what doesn't. Let's hold it down again, see what happens. Like, that seems to be working better. Like, he went further, right? So if I don't hold down the right shoulder button, it tends to, like, hone in a bit more. I don't know. It's hard to tell, to be honest. Like, a lot of it feels like trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it could confuse you and get you thinking it works when it actually doesn't. Enough nonsense. Let's try and multiplay it a little bit, and then we'll call it a day, I think. I'll go back to thinking about where I'm going to go with the videos going forward, maybe talking more about the issues, more specifically, like I want to get clips and things, line everything up cleanly, talk about other stuff. I also want to do an edit, like, given all the stuff I've been saying, I can still film a few cool clips, so I do want to get an edit out just to show what is potentially possible, but yeah, let's go online. Right, so we've gone to the conservatory and we found somebody in here. Looks like there's two people over there, kind of where I was earlier in the video, so let's see what they're up to. And how we interact with them, I haven't really played around with, like, can you hit their bikes and do other crazy stuff? Potentially yes, but who knows. Maybe they're sessioning that rail that I was doing before. So I found a person, Eric of England, sessioning that rail that I was trying before. It is nice to see people out in the world, but even then, it's like so barren. Let's try another one of these. It lagged. Okay, I want to kind of snake them a little bit, see what happens. Ah, you see, it took myself out, not the other person. I'm curious how those interactions work. Like, if he dropped his bike, would I be able to manual on it? Okay, let's try. Okay, maybe it'll just cause a bail. Found another person as well. It's lagging a bit. I am aware that it could be because I'm in Japan, and a lot of these people are in the West, essentially. Can you ride down this? Wild. This is another section I haven't really sessioned either. It's mostly straight rails though, from the looks of it. So we're back to where I showed that clip before, and I didn't realise there was actually a challenge for this. So let's see if we can do the tyre ride the whole way around. Why are we starting at this angle? The old potato said, like, brake to get over it, which I can understand. I feel like that session marker's not helping, because it's in like a deliberately off-center position. I guess in terms of the challenge, you should just brake. I proved I can do it without, and I can't actually see the rail, which sucks. So I'm doing this completely blind. Yeah. Because the positioning of that is so bad, I'm actually doing like a loop around to get up to it. Just to ensure that I'm going on straight. person. Uh-oh, will we make it? Here we go. Sweet. With Noob cheering me on as well. Alright. Along with my new buddy Noob. We've got some things done at least. And yeah, again, mixed bag. Part of me enjoys the game, part of me is stressed out by the game. I don't know what to think, to be honest, most of the time. So I'm curious to see how people feel. Now that the dust has settled a little bit, people have calmed down. Where are we at the minute? Part of me likes it, part of me doesn't. Part of me hopes MASH, with all this stuff being on fire, will actually put some effort in to fix a lot of this stuff, sort out these manuals, because they're a bit wild. And yeah, hopefully we get into a better place. But for the most part, I will be doing a video every day for the next week or so. I guess 6 days at this point. So if you are holding off, I will try and keep you updated on what's going on, show you some other stuff. Oh shit, actually, I remember there's a mod map. I wanted to look at that quick. Super quick. It's not going to be anything major. I'll maybe cover it better in a different video. But the Boneyard is kind of the single official map at the time of me looking into this. Mod.io isn't working, so you have to drop it in manually, but if you go to the Discord server, they'll explain how to do that. It's really simple, actually, but we do have a map that's a mod map, so that's pretty cool. We've got those goddamn online noises as well. But yeah, it does work reasonably well. I'm not sure if it's perfect. It could probably be like adjusted a little bit to work a bit better with grinds and stuff like that, but otherwise, yeah, there are mod maps starting to appear. And I've also seen the Schoolyard DLC appear as well, which is interesting. If I get my hands on that, I will be curious to try it out and see what it looks like. And also just better Scare Excel maps. Like, the city is pretty bland looking, to be honest, so having something like this and more interesting maps will be a great boon for the game, I think. Anyway, sorry, another long video. I'll try and do something different tomorrow, either an edit or a compilation of different things. I also want to do a comparison of Pipe and BMX Street's tricks, like film it from the same angle, see how different it looks, which one looks better. I think that'll be an interesting comparison and probably set everybody on fire again, getting stressed out that some things look different or wrong now. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.